crazy. I'm going to have to turn off that prompt because it keeps on booting me off every time on there. It's nuts. Trouble. You come see me, Trouble. Come see me. Where's my girl? Where's my girl? What are you doing, baby? Oh, my suckers. Oh, my suckers. Nobody can see you. You're so cute right here. Here. Let's make sure everybody can see you. Sitting there looking so cute right here. Oh, come on over here. Oh. So turn around so everybody can see you. Yeah, there. Yeah. No suckers. No suckers, huh? No suckers. This is Zoe. She's a Chewini. She's about 12 years old now. Daddy's little girl. No suckers. Look at Cushion. Well, we can. Sorry, you guys, I got cut off. I'm just waiting for everybody to come back on and we can keep on chatting. This is Zoe. Zoe's a Chewini. That's Dachshund and Chihuahua. She's about 12 years old now. If you have any questions on dogs, I am a dog expert. I'm writing a book on dogs right now. Oh, sweetie. Especially on dog emotions. Yeah, I know. Oh, so spoiled. Show everybody your pretty face. Show everybody your pretty face. Huh. Huh. Yeah, absolutely, Dad. If you know how to capture a moment, do me a favor, capture this. She's just too cute. I think it's a right click on the screen. If you know how to do that. I've done it a few times. Still new on this YouNow platform. Huh. Now remember, I'm an ACE certified personal trainer and ACE certified health coach. So if you have any questions on anything having to do with health related, I'd be free and happy to answer them for you. Pretty much on any topic beyond that as well. I put 80 chapters in Pushing Double Nickels. You learn a lot and you get to be an old fart like me. Heh. Isn't that right? Oh, such a face. Oh, such a face. She loves her daddy. Believe me, she loves her daddy. Been with me since 2007. So 11 years come this summer, huh? All my dogs are rescues. I've been doing small dog rescue for over 30 years. Daddy's girl, huh? My sweetie. There's not a whole lot of difference between the two-legged kids and the four-legged kids, I'll tell you that much. Except the four-legged kids stick around forever. The two-legged kids eventually grow up, go off to college, and get their own careers. These guys don't even get jobs. Huh? Don't even get jobs. Spoiled girl. Anyhow, what do you think? If you have any questions for me, hit me. Otherwise, I think I'm going to play Lie Swatter until everybody gets back on. Start soapboxing again about health. Have you gotten your flu shot yet? Seriously. Not you, Zeke. I'm asking them on here. Have you gotten your flu shot yet? Let me know. I want to know who has and who hasn't. I'm real curious. Because we have a very nasty strain hitting this year. It's literally about at epidemic levels. Oh, look at this face. Come on, who couldn't love this face? I'll do Chihuahua curls. Are we ready? Chihuahua curls, here we go. Yes, Chihuahua curls. Nowhere else will you find Chihuahua curls. Welcome back, you guys. For those of you who got cut off, I don't know what's happening when something pops up on Messenger. It seems to cut me off here on YouNow. So Zoe and I are just kind of hanging here while we wait for everybody to get back on who was on before. If you guys hit me up with any questions, seriously, anything that you can think of, comments, theories, postulations, ideas. For me, I have a better day when I get input and feedback and questions from you guys on almost any topic. It really doesn't matter. You know, talking to a guy the other day who was dealing with sleep issues, talking with another guy who was dealing with back pain issues. Another guy, his girlfriend pulled a fast one on him. And it was like, hey, that happens to all of us. You betcha. I just had a wacko pull one on me recently. Huh. Yes, sir, Bob. But the nice thing is, and this is really true, as you get older, you know, the little things tend to bother you less. And that's really important to me because, you know, I'm a grouch anyway. I am, literally. Zoe and I are going to come closer and say hi and see if anybody has any questions over here or any comments or theories or postulations. Here, I'm going to let Zoe read it. What's the best workout for your legs? Well, you see, Stormtrooper, I don't to get bigger. Well, there's a whole series of exercises you can do for legs, Stormtrooper. But one thing that I don't do is just work on individual body parts. For me, I work on the entire person. Um, I don't just say, here's what I want you to do to build up your arms, or here's what I want you to do to build up your legs. For me, the individual is more than just legs. However, depending upon what you're trying to build your muscle for. You know, I definitely recommend, you know, leg lifts for one thing if you're trying to build your core, if you want to build up the back of your hammies, if you're really trying to, I mean, obviously, if you're working with weights, squats are amazing if you're working with weights, especially deadlifts. Um, the machines are awesome. I mean, there's a whole range of things you can do to increase your muscle mass in your legs. For me, power walking, and seriously. And I use, I don't know if you're familiar with the Masai Barefoot Technology shoes. They're round bottom shoes. There's a whole bunch of other ones out there now. But for me, I mean, and for really, for definition in your calves, it's amazing what you can get. And I'm not talking about running or jogging because, you know, that can really put a lot of impact and pressure on knees and feet. But power walking I find to be very, very effective. And if you're really looking to build muscle tone, especially, you know, in your legs, that's a good way to go. But normally, I don't just work on a particular body part. For me, I work more a balanced level. And as a health coach, which is a personal trainer that encompasses everything, personal trainer is simply going to be working with your physique, maybe working with your diet and nutrition, but a health coach, which is the certification you can attain after you become a personal trainer with ACE. So the personal trainer certification is a prerequisite to become a health coach. My goal to become the health coach was to help people do what I've done. Lose weight, quit smoking, manage their chronic back pain. 100 million Americans suffer lower back pain. And gain control of their type 2 diabetes, or better yet, I would love to help every one of those 84 million Americans who are pre-diabetic get off that list. Seriously. If any of you out there right now have already been diagnosed with pre-diabetes and want to talk about it, let me know. For the ladies, well, again, ladies, gentlemen, body parts and body parts alone are not what I work on. I work on the entire person, the entire psyche. And individual muscle leg exercises, there's many out there. It all depends on what you want to get done. For long term, I would prefer somebody find something that's going to not only work the legs, but also works the cardio at the same time. So I would prefer somebody gets out there and does power walking, right? If you're going to do squats in an awesome way, but if you want to really build up your squats and really build up muscles doing squats, include some weights. Low weights. You don't have to use high weights. There's also machines out there. There's also bands you can use. There are many different ways that you can improve your legs, ladies or gentlemen. And it's funny because the exercises for both are pretty much the same, as far as improving legs. Overall, though, my goal is to improve the overall individual, not just the physical. The physical is important, yeah, because being healthy is being balanced. Being balanced includes the physical, the mental, the emotional, the intellectual, and yes, even the spiritual. All of it, as an entire person, you have to, like I say, 75% of the concentration to be healthy is in your nutrition, your diet, what you're putting into your body. 75%, okay? Only 25% is on exercise and activity. That's the formula for being a balanced, healthy individual. It's very simple. I have another question popping in down here. Let me see. What's the difference between bands and machines? Well, the rubber bands, or even what I use, which is I prefer a chest puller. This is metal as opposed to the rubber, but it does the same thing with resistance. And, the machines are basically just that. They're all designed to work particular areas of the body, machines and bands and muscles and resistance training. It all depends on basically your preference is what it comes down to. You like working on the machines, and you'll enjoy working on the machines better. For me, I only want you to do what's gonna keep you going, right? If you find something that you like to do, then you're going to stick with it. That's the important thing. Finding something that you want to do on a regular basis is something that's going to allow you to make the lifestyle change as necessary. Because being on a diet isn't going to do you any good. Going on diet plans, going on diet, with diet fixes, these Nutrisystems, all these commercials I see for lose weight fast. No. We don't gain weight fast. I didn't get up to 200 plus pounds overnight. It didn't happen fast. So in the same vein, even though we all want, automatic gratification, immediate gratification, you didn't get unhealthy fast. So it's not like you're going to get healthy overnight. You're not going to, I didn't take off 110 pounds quickly. It happened over time. I did quit the cigarettes quickly, however, because remember, when I was 252 pounds, I was still a cigarette smoker, pack a day. So that was the first thing that had to go, was the cigarettes, right? If you're a smoker, any of you out there are smokers, and you're ready to quit, I'm helping people do that for free. I did it last year, the year before, I'm doing it again this year. So, if you're really ready to get that monkey off your back, I will do it for free. And believe me, after 31 years a smoker, I quit July 15th, 2005, and that's 13 years this July. And I have not had one since. In fact, the smell of them just turns my stomach now. But I can assure you, if you're a cigarette smoker, I'm not talking pot, I support marijuana. Marijuana, I believe, has wonderful medicinal qualities. I've been a medical marijuana user for years, 44 years overall, this year anyway. Big difference, and I can tell you this from firsthand experience. 31 years that I smoked cigarettes, from 15 to 46, okay? Almost every single year I got bronchitis. For 31 years, smoking cigarettes, almost every single year I got bronchitis, okay? Now, I started smoking pot about the same time, about 15, okay? Now, I got rid of the cigarettes July 15, 2005, my last cigarette. No more, ever since. And you know what? I haven't had a case of bronchitis since. That tells me something, right? That tells me something. That tells me that the cigarettes, and especially the up to 500 additives that they put into those darn cigarettes were a whole heck of a lot worse for me than, pot could be. And remember, it's legal in California now. That's where I reside for 21 and over. I mean, for recreational use. But for those of us who utilize it for medical use, and for me, it helps with the pain issues that I deal with. I've got 6 different issues going on with my lower back that each one causes pain. So for me, being able to utilize medical marijuana, right, allows me to take less medications, allows me to be more active. Right? There are days when I wake up and I don't even want to get out of bed, because my back hurts that bad. I'm sure that some of you out there are in the same boat. 100 million of us, out of 324, 325 million Americans, 100 million of us have back pain. So I know I'm not alone, and I have friends whose backs are a whole lot worse. People that have had their, spines fused and all kinds of crazy things. I've got issues, yeah, and I have pain, but I'm still moving, right? And as long as I can still get up and get out of bed every day, as far as I'm concerned, that's a positive. Hey, look at it this way. Every day that you wake up is a positive, right? I mean, every day that your eyes open and not instead of not open, that is a step in the right direction. From there, everything pretty much should be gravy, as far as I'm concerned. Because every single morning, 90,000 people who went to bed the night before don't wake up. We're losing 160,000 people a day. Birth rate is a little lower than that. So we're currently losing a few more than we're gaining. Not by much, and I'm sure that'll reverse. But every night, 90,000 people go to sleep and don't wake up the next day. And I can tell you, a lot of them have CAD, which is still the leading cause of death in America right now. Coronary arterial disease, CAD. That is the arterial sclerosis, the plaque that builds up on your artery walls inside your heart and inside your brain that causes heart attacks and strokes. And what really bothers me as a certified health coach, especially because I've been through the training on this now, and I understand because I've been there, I've been not only fat, but I've been obese. And I'll show you guys this picture again just so you can see it. Again, I saved this on purpose because to me, I will always be this guy, 252 pounds. And remember, I was smoking cigarettes at that time as well. So I did not do myself any favors, you guys. 252 pounds, and at that time, my BMI was 38, my body mass index. And to me, as a personal trainer, that's the first number I want to know about. What's your body mass index? You can find out very easily. Just go on Google or go over to the cdc.gov website, anywhere. Just look up BMI scale or body mass index scale. And it'll come up a little box. You look at your weight and you look at your height and you find the number that it matches to in the middle. And that tells you what your BMI is. If it's over 30, you're overweight. If it's over 35, you're obese. I was 38. Okay. We just heard from all the latest medical reports on our president that he's this close to obese. Our president is 6'3" tall, 239 pounds, which means he's right on the verge of obese. Anybody, everybody, you can all find out right now what your BMI is. Now, at 142 pounds now, down from 252 pounds, so 110 pounds later, my BMI is now where it should be. I'm a 21 to 22. My body fat is somewhere between 6 and 8%. But remember, I'm 58 years old. I'll be 59 in a couple of months. I'm no spring chicken. And I didn't even start thinking about getting healthy until I got hit with type 2 diabetes at 45, 46 years old. It was horrible. The beginning of the year in 2005, and I can remember this. I'm going to come sit down and talk to you guys about this. Seriously. The beginning of the year, 2005. I can remember this specifically. There we go. Better yet, let me turn it face here. You just have to deal with my ugly mug. Beginning of the year, 2005. I got hit with some of the weirdest symptoms ever. One, I couldn't get enough to drink. I was constantly thirsty. I mean, constantly thirsty. I couldn't drink enough. I want to get my stool. Hang on, I'm going to take you guys with me. We're going to talk about this. Say hi to the guys. Just so you know, these are the 3 Z's, by the way. This is Zeke, my Chiggy. He's about 4 years old. He's a Chihuahua and a Welsh Corgi. These are all rescues, by the way, you guys. I've been doing small dog rescue pretty much my whole life. And this is Zoe. Zoe is a Chiweenie. She's half Dachshund and half Chihuahua. And over here, this little guy. Come on, let everybody see your pretty face. Let me see. Let everybody see your handsome face. This is Zachary, and he's a Chug, which is a Chihuahua and a Pug. And Zachary's about 13 years old. Zoe is about 12 years old. And Zeke is the baby. He's only about 4. Zoe I've had since 2007. Saved her at the pound in Orange County. Zachary's been with me since 2009. He was abandoned at an apartment complex in Whittier and almost starved to death. And poor Zeke was abandoned multiple times at animal shelters and thrown into backyards and neglected, and was a complete basket case when he came on board with me. Anyhow, I want to talk to you guys about the diabetes stuff, so I wanted to grab my comfy stool, and I'm going to bring it back in here, sit down, and talk to you, because I guarantee you that some of you guys are dealing with this issue right now. Well, look at it this way. I mean, this is a pretty simple number to figure out, you guys. If there's 324 million Americans, right, 2/3 of us are obese, where I was. And out of those 2/3 of Americans who are obese, 84 million are pre-diabetic. I guarantee that's got to include some of you guys out there. I'm absolutely certain. This is an epidemic that has hit not just America, but is global. For the last 50 years, the obesity levels, we've been gaining weight. And right now, we actually have more people who are overweight than we have people who are starving. So in other words, there's a large imbalance. If we could just find a way to redistribute that food, that would be awesome. But like I told you before, becoming overweight, becoming obese, and again, scary picture, 252 pounds, is not something that comes with any symptoms. I didn't have any symptoms. I mean, when I was getting heavy, I was pretty much fat and happy working in computer training. That was it. And if I hadn't started having these weird symptoms in the beginning of 2005, glad you joined us. Love Sydney. Hey, Sydney, how's it going? Melania. Ask me questions, seriously. I'm here to help. As an ACE-certified health coach, one of the things I really concentrate on, besides helping people lose weight, is to manage type 2 diabetes, especially the folks who are pre-diabetic, because that comes with good news and bad news. And you're thinking, well, what good news and bad news could there be from being a pre-diabetic? Well, let's start with the bad news. As a pre-diabetic, okay, if you don't start doing something about it, in other words, if you just cross your fingers and hope for the best, eventually you're going to become a full-blown type 2 diabetic like me. Okay. By the time I was having the symptoms I was having, and these were, beginning of 2005, extreme thirst. I could not drink enough. I could not get enough liquids in me. It didn't matter what I was drinking.
sugared sodas. I was still drinking normal Coke, caffeine-free Coke at the time. Lots of iced tea. I mean, everything was, for me, I was still heavily sugared at that time. And this was just as I was getting ready to turn 46. So 45 at that time. And remember, this was 252 pounds, which was even almost 50 pounds heavier than that, this was 2010 when I was still, a little over 200 pounds there. 142 now. I'm at weight finally. But the symptoms, they were driving me crazy. Constantly, I could not get enough to drink. It was just nonstop thirst. And of course, when you're constantly drinking, you're always going to the bathroom, right? I mean, that was probably what just drove me the craziest. I mean, it's like having permanent cotton mouth for those of you out there who partake as I do. I mean, imagine having cotton mouth to the point where no matter how much you drink or no matter what you drank, nothing helped. I mean, that's a special kind of crazy, especially when my blood sugars were up to the level at that point where I should have probably been in some kind of diabetic coma. My A1C level was through the roof. My blood sugars just in general were through the roof. And by the time I got into my doctor, and had the labs done, I was even having problems with my vision. The pressure because of all the sugars was improving my eyesight. It was weird. Seriously, if you guys have any questions on any of this or any comments, feel free to ask me. If you want to capture a moment or two to share, that would be awesome also, because what I'm saying should help at least the people out there that have to look out for this. I mean, this is not anything to mess around with. When I was having those weird symptoms in 2005, and my doctor told me after I finally got in to see him after all these weird symptoms, I had my lab work done, and I got in, I'm sitting there and talking to my doctor, and my doctor says, well, start picking out some toes and fingers, that you don't like, because if you don't start making some changes, they're going to be cut off. You're going to lose toes, fingers, eyesight, and eventually your life. Because type 2 diabetes is nothing to play around with. Neuropathy, when the nerves begin to die, when the circulation begins to decrease, when you've got so much sugar in the blood, the pancreas cannot create enough insulin to regulate it, then it starts damaging the nerves. And long before you start getting the burning sensation from neuropathy, long before then, you'll get numbness, you'll get tingling, and even before then, a sure indication you're beginning to lose circulation is loss of hair. If you normally have hair on your toes and the hair starts to come off, or even on the backs of your fingers, I don't care if it's just peach fuzz. When you start seeing that hair begin to go, that's the very first sign, very first indication that you might have either diabetes or pre-diabetes. So if you have not, and please, anybody has any questions on this or comments or theories, hit me. Normally they pay me $35 to $50 an hour for this kind of stuff as a personal trainer and health coach. I like to give back simply because I can. I have the ability now as an author. I'm writing books more than I'm doing personal training. I'm doing more health coaching. So my goal is to help as many people, 1, quit smoking first, 2, lose weight, 3, get off of the pre-diabetes list, and 4, manage their chronic pain. Everybody deals with freaking chronic pain. 100 million of us have lower back pain, including me. So the fact that I'm who I am and I've been able to lose the weight I've lost, get rid of a 31-year cigarette habit, get my diabetes under control, and I manage my chronic pain on a daily basis. Now I help others do the same thing. And yes, it's very fulfilling. So when I'm able to help any of you guys or answer any of your questions, it really makes my day. Now, if you haven't fanned me, please fan me. I plan to be doing this, if not every day, as often as I can. My give back this year is to help community, friends, family, whoever I can help. Cigarette smokers, I'll help you get rid of them damn things for free. Seriously. A pack a day. I smoked for 31 years, from 15 to 46. A pack a freaking day. I still can't believe I did it. Now the smell of those things just turns my stomach. But I've already helped people quit. I help people quit with the book. Pushing Double Nickels, the first chapter is how to quit cigarettes, or how I quit a 31-year cigarette habit. I put in there the step-by-step process that I went through to get rid of the cigarettes. If you want to just read the book, email me. I'll send you the digital book for free. Now, in fact, you can go pull up the first 30, 40 pages right now on Amazon with a Kindle reader, or on Barnes & Noble. So you can go pull up the first 30, 40 pages that should have that chapter in it. Table of contents, intro. I'm pretty sure chapter 1 is in the first 30, 40 pages. So if you're a cigarette smoker and you want to quit, I'll help you. I mean, seriously, I'll Skype with you and we'll put together a 90-day plan so that at the end of those 90 days, that monkey will be off your back. You will be an ex-smoker at that point. And to me, there's absolutely no sense in quitting smoking just to turn around a year or two later and pick it right back up again. I mean, that's absolutely insane. Just like a chapter I put in the book, do it right the first time. I mean, if you're going to do something, it doesn't really matter what you're doing, but if you're going to do something, if you're going to invest the time and the energy to do something, do it right the first time. Why go back and repeat it? Seriously. So, you want to quit smoking? That's my give back this year. I do that for free. You want to get rid of the cigarettes? I'll Skype with you, I'll text with you, I'll email with you, we'll do calls, whatever it takes to put together the time to get you off that habit. Because there's no way, absolutely no way, that you can begin to get your health in if you still smoke cigarettes. And 45 million Americans still smoke cigarettes out of 325. So somewhere between 12 and 15% of the population. But what truly bothers me about this, 1,700 teenagers are starting every day. 1,700 are starting every single day. That's unacceptable. Right? I started at 15. I wish to God I hadn't. If I hadn't, succumbed to peer pressure, it was around 13, 14, and tried my first cigarette, I would have never had a pack-a-day habit starting at 15, right? And going to 46. And I guarantee you, I did not do my health any favors. It takes a good 10 years from when you quit smoking for your lungs to get back to pre-smoking place. So for me, it's just been within the last 3 years or so, 2-3 years, because it'll be 13 years for me since I had my last cigarette come this July. But I can guarantee you this much, and this is a really positive thing, guys. Look at me. I was 46 years old. I was 252 pounds. I was 31 years a cigarette smoker, working in the computer training industry, sitting around most of my day fat and happy, right? So there I'm 46 years old, 252 pounds. Show you the picture again. Hang on. Scary, scary. Ooh, seriously. That 252 pounds right there. Hey, Jay, how's it going? Hey, Nick. Just so you know, I've been there. I've done that. I can tell you right now, at 46, 252 pounds, still smoking cigarettes, sitting in the doctor's office that day, and he's hitting me with this, you have type 2 diabetes stuff, and you need to make changes stuff. I mean, I didn't know what to do. I was literally freaking out. Because I'd been having all these weird symptoms because of all the type 2 diabetes that I didn't know was ravaging in my system at that time. So I literally had to take control. I had to take the freaking reins. And fortunately for me, I was able to fall back on my Marine Corps background. I was a Marine at a very early age for a short period of time, but my boot camp training, Camp Pendleton, San Diego, has been foundational for me my entire life. So I was really able to, fall back on that and put myself back into my own kind of boot camp, kick my own butt, if you will, and make sure that I did what I had to do to make sure I was going to be around a little bit longer. Because I'm quite convinced if I was still smoking cigarettes, right, and I was still obese, or at least overweight, if I was still heavy, I don't think I would be here right now. I think I would have been one of those 90,000 who pass away in their sleep every night, many of them from a heart attack. And you want to know a scary thing? And I'll share this with you. Let me see if somebody has a question here I can answer. What about marijuana? Does it have any advantages or disadvantages? Jay, I've been using marijuana for 44 years. I started with cigarettes first, right? About a year, almost 2 years after picking up the cigarette habit, I was exposed to marijuana for the very first time, right? And like I say, this was 44 years ago this year. So I have just a little bit of experience with that. I'm known in some of the health centers, the healing centers out here as the pot guru. But marijuana in and of itself is much less harmful than cigarettes, much less harmful than alcohol. I don't support anything that you burn combustible into your lungs. As a health coach, I can't. I personally, I support vapes, I support edibles, I support concentrates. The use of medical marijuana or even recreational marijuana, I think I support that fully. Absolutely fully. Remember, here in California, the use of marijuana is now the same as tobacco or alcohol. If you're 21 or older, you can go buy it, and use it and grow it, and basically it's recreational. If you are a medical marijuana user and you have a medical marijuana card, and I do, that means at 18 you can use it. However, you still have to have someone, a parent or guardian, until you're 21 help you attain it. The big difference between the people who buy it as recreational legally and the people who are purchasing it with a medical marijuana card right now, the big difference is people using medical marijuana aren't paying taxes on it. Recreational users, you will be paying taxes if you go into your local marijuana store, okay? And again, remember, everything in balance. For me, the use of marijuana simply allows me to take less pain medications for my back issues. And anybody who's read my book knows the back issues that I have. They're not fun. But again, 100 million Americans suffer back issues. I'd much rather see you smoking a joint or a bowl or a bong or doing some concentrates or edibles, right, than taking Percocets or OxyContin or Vicodins or Tramadol. And take it from a guy who has to use some of these. I take less opioid medications. You will say it with me again. I take less opioid medications because I'm able to utilize marijuana, because it's able to help me take the edge off the pain. All of you who suffer back pain out there and take medications for your pain, you can all attest, and same as me, the pain does not go away. Medications do not make the pain go away. What it does is make it tolerable so that we can function. That's the goal. To get yourself back into some kind of balance so that you aren't laying around like a lump all day long in pain. At the same time, you're able to get up, get things done, get things accomplished, set goals. You understand what I'm saying? So, Jay, I fully support the use of marijuana, especially medical marijuana, especially in lieu of taking more pain medications. And yeah, we do have an opioid crisis right now in America. Yeah, I'm aware, but whatever gives you the munchies and you want to lose weight. Well, yeah, and like I say, it all comes down to self-control there, Jay. I mean, you want to get the munchies and chow down, cool. Do something healthy, do some popcorn, without butter. That's the time to pull out the rice cakes. When you get the munchies, you go ahead and munch. But let's see if you can pick out something non-fat. How about something without saturated fat? How about something healthy? How about some celery and peanut butter? I mean, there's a million different ways that you can satisfy the munchies without doing it unhealthy and putting on weight in the process. Mind you, even if you're eating health food, every 3,500 calories additional that you put in your face that you don't burn off as some kind of calories expenditure of something turns into a pound of fat. Very simple. It's a real simple math formula. So yeah, I mean, yeah, the marijuana can give you the munchies, but just so you know, it is a myth overall. I mean, yeah, remember, you can let it, but at the same time, and remember, 44 years I've been doing this. 44 years, okay? I get my ounces delivered. I love it out here. But you don't have to necessarily get the munchies all the time. And if you do, you can still do something healthy about it. Popcorn is an awesome way to go. I mean, still, and it kills me because you're still going to find palm oil in almost all the popcorns out there. You want to talk about something insidious, you guys? I mean, truly insidious. And more corporate America and all around the world, this product has been incorporated into nearly every packaged food and every processed food that you can think of. Palm oil, palm kernel oil. I have been railing about these things for years. This is the nastiest product that you can put into your body. It's 84% saturated fat. Let me say that again. 84% saturated fat. Palm oil or palm kernel oil. I challenge you. Go into your pantry, go into your kitchen, go into your refrigerator. Anything that's been processed or packaged, look at your margarine. Look at every cookie in there, every cake, everything that's in a package, and see where you find palm oil or palm kernel oil on there. Another horrible one to look out for is anything partially hydrogenated. Oh my God. I mean, let's put it this way. If you don't know how to read nutrition labels yet, that is something that you really need to do. Even if you just hire me for 1 hour to teach you how to read nutrition labels, that'll be worth it. Seriously. Go over to personaltrainingwithbrad.com, personaltrainingwithbrad.com, right? In fact, if you fan me on YouNow, go ahead and fan me on YouNow. Everybody that fans me on YouNow will get an hour for free. I don't care if we talk on the phone, if we text, whatever. They'll get an hour of my time. Skype is what I prefer. It's awesome. That way I can talk with them, they can talk with me, and if they look like I used to look, and believe me, when I was 252 pounds, I did not want to go walking into a health club looking for help. So a lot of my clients now just appreciate the fact that we can work on getting them healthier, and they can do it literally from their own living room. So if you want to learn how to read nutrition labels and understand exactly what it is you're putting into your body, hey, an hour, I guarantee I will have you knowledgeable and ready to go hit your grocery store and start looking at labels going, do I really want to put this into my body? Because remember, again, it's a simple formula, you guys. Every 3,500 calories that you put into your body that you don't expend turns into a pound of fat. It's really, really simple formula. And yeah, I'm really concerned overall with the quality of your food, but initially when you need to lose weight, and let's be realistic, you're not going to go out and start eating salads and and rice cakes, and you're not going to start eating healthy overnight. It's not going to happen, I promise. I know better. But at the same time, we need to figure out a way to turn your positive energy balance, gaining weight, into a negative energy balance, losing weight. What do we have to do? What's logical? If we're still going to eat all the same foods, all right, then what we have to look at then is portion sizes. Cutting down the size of the meals, cutting down, instead of having 2 cheeseburgers or a double cheeseburger, having 1, instead of having 4 or 5 slices of pizza, having 2, instead of having a milkshake with your burger, have iced tea for a change. See if we can knock off some of the sugared sodas, see if we can cut down on some of the things that we're overdoing. Perhaps instead of 10 or 15 Oreos, you'll have 4 or 5, right? I'm not saying stop eating all the foods that you eat now. Eventually, over time, if you make the proper lifestyle changes, and that's what's required, right, then yeah, you yourself will determine, well, I feel like a salad today. Whoo! And you'll look in the mirror and go, whoa, was that me? Okay? Or, hey, that apple looks really good. Over time, as you start to make the changes in your life and you start to maybe explore things that you may not have eaten before, kale, tofu, vegetables, just kidding. But as you start to explore these things and maybe try things you've never tried before because you go, oh my God, that's health food, I'm not going to eat that, you might find out you actually like it. Hey, some people actually enjoy hummus. I ain't one of them, but some people do. So just take the time to figure out what it is that's going to work for you as far as losing weight. Remember again, the balance, the formula for being a healthy individual, balanced individual physically, is 75% your nutrition, what you eat, mostly how much, the quantity. Quality is important, but quantity, especially if you're overweight, gaining weight, obese like I was. And the other is 25%, the formula is 75% what you put in your body, 25% what you do with your body, exercise, movement. Pretty simple formula, yeah, but applying it tends to be the difficulty people tend to have. Hey, Dren, what's happening? If you guys have any questions on this stuff, remember the category, I do believe, is ask questions. So hit me up. And it doesn't have to be on personal training. It doesn't have to be on health coaching. Literally, anything that you guys want to talk about, we can talk about. That's up to you. I specialize in helping people quit smoking, lose weight, get in shape, deal with their pain, lower back issues mostly. And especially this year, my focus is really to see if I can help as many people get off that pre-diabetes list as possible. To me, that's low-hanging fruit. Seriously. I mean, you are right on the line. Hey, one. So if you are one of those 84 million Americans who are currently on the pre-diabetes list, you can get off. I mean, that's the really good news. You can get off that list. That is not a death sentence. What is a death sentence is ignoring it. If you already have been diagnosed with pre-diabetes, and 1 out of 4 Americans currently has pre-diabetes, 1 out of 4, you with me? So we're talking 84 million Americans we know have pre-diabetes. You're right on the verge, right on the line. So you take a step to the left, you're off the list. You take a step to the right, you're a full-blown type 2 diabetic. Like me, I take 2 different types of diabetes medication every day and will for the rest of my life. I got to the point at 252 pounds and smoking cigarettes for 31 years and sitting around being sedentary and fat and happy, I killed off half my pancreas in the process. So for me, there was no turning back. I went way beyond pre-diabetes into full-blown type 2 diabetes, close to the point where I should have been in a freaking diabetic coma at one point. Especially when I was first diagnosed and 252 pounds. But if you're on that list, an easy way to find out, you just get your lab work done. Get in, get your lab work done, get your face-to-face with your doctor. Everybody should be getting an annual physical that includes lab work so that they know all of the numbers. And these are the numbers, and if you want to capture this, this is important. Somebody wants to capture this moment and share it. The numbers that are important for your health, your body mass index, your BMI. Now, you can find that out right this very second. Just Google body mass index chart and look up your height and your weight, follow it to the number, and that's going to tell you what your BMI is. So your BMI is a number you need to know. Your blood pressure, obviously. If you have high blood pressure, are you on blood pressure medication? I always need to know that as a personal trainer when I'm putting together exercise programs, and also so that I understand when I'm trying to do testing. When I want to find out how fit somebody is as far as the amount of volume they can put through on breathing, how generally they are doing their general levels of health. If you're taking blood pressure medication, that can affect things. And normally I will, vary my testing based on that. I also want to know your cholesterol levels. What are they? Are they the high where it should be, the low where it should be? Are your triglycerides good? And then, of course, the most important number right now that everybody should be finding out at their doctor. What is your A1C? That is your 60-day glucose tolerance level. How well is your pancreas, your body, processing sugars? Okay. Are you creating enough insulin? So if your A1C is in the pre-diabetic range, your doctor is going to tell you. So 1 out of 4 Americans right now is pre-diabetic. So if you have pre-diabetes, and I'll say this again, that comes with good news and bad news. You got both. The bad news is if you don't do something about it, if you don't get off your butt, start losing some weight, start doing a little exercise. If you don't start doing something about it, then you will become a full-blown type 2 diabetic. And yes, you can start looking at diabetic neuropathy. Your fingers will come off, your toes will get cut off, you can lose your sight, you could become blind from neuropathy in the eyes, and eventually it will kill you. So type 2 diabetes is nothing to play around with. Mind you, out of the 30 million of us, including me, who've already been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, in other words, we've already had the with our doctor, and the doctor's already given us all the stuff that I'm telling you now. 10 million of those 30 million are not being treated right now. You with me on this? 30 million of us already know we have type 2 diabetes. We've been diagnosed. We know. All right, so out of 325 million Americans, 30 million of us already know. 10 million of those people who know they've been told you have type 2 diabetes, you can lose fingers, toes, eyesight, you can die if you don't do something, they're not doing anything. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. I mean, that's, Russian roulette for sure. So those of you who are on the list for pre-diabetes, in other words, you're right on the line, you're on the precipice, if you will. The bad news is if you don't do something about it, you're going to join the 30 million of us who already have it. So there's potentially another 84 million to join the 30 million of us who already have it. I would just as soon see none of them join us, to be honest. I'd like to see every one of those 84 million people get off that list. And that is the good news about prediabetes. You can get rid of prediabetes. You can get off that list. Even if you go beyond slightly into diabetes, if your pancreas is still fully functional, you can still reverse that and get off diabetes medication. Once it gets to the point where your pancreas cells are dying off and your pancreas is not putting out what it should, then you have to go on medication and stay on medication like me. Okay? But let's talk about the pre-diabetics who aren't there yet. The 84 million people who can still get off that list. That's the good news about pre-diabetes, if you really want to call it good news, is that you aren't stuck with that sentence. You can get off there. And I tell people all the time, the best thing you can do if you're overweight or obese and you've been diagnosed as pre-diabetic, or you're pretty sure you are, take off 10%. 10%, that's all I ask. If you can take 10% off the weight you are at right now, for instance, when I was 250 plus pounds, for me to take off 10% was to take me down to 225. And I can remember taking off the first 25 pounds. A lot more energy, for one thing. But that immediately, if I had done it early enough, would have taken me off the pre-diabetes list. I had already gone too far at that point. 84 million of you right now, and I guarantee of that 84 million, most of them are the people who are either overweight or obese. Remember, that is the other epidemic we have happening in the United States right now. Globally, actually, 1 out of 5 people is either overweight or obese, right? But America, as always, we lead the way. So 2/3 of our population, 67%, is either overweight or obese right now. I know, I was overweight and I was obese, so I know. But like I say, 10% is going to help out immensely, and that would probably help take you off of that pre-diabetes list if you're on there. So that's the good news, and that really is good news, because we do not want to turn into full-blown diabetics. I guarantee those of you who are on the pre-diabetes list, you don't want to get to the point. At one point for 2 years, I was literally injecting myself with a needle in my stomach, until I was able to get my numbers back down to the point where my doctor allowed me to go back on oral medications instead. So you do not want to get to that point, believe me. 10%. That's all it really takes. Anyhow, I'm getting ready to finish off for today. I appreciate you guys taking the time to listen to me yammer, because if you get me on my soapbox about living healthy and being healthy and becoming more balanced, because that's truly what I do, is help people become more balanced. Physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, intellectually, the 5 main parts of the psyche as I look at it. Being out of balance simply means you can be overweight or obese. You can have issues. Every one of us wake up every morning with issues. Be they physical, be they emotional, be they financial, relationships. We all have difficulties that we face on a daily basis. What the nice part is, being humans and having a consciousness, is when those eyes open in the morning, and first and foremost, be happy your eyes opened. 90,000 people don't get to open their eyes every morning. Yes, 90,000 people pass away in their sleep every night. Many of them from coronary artery disease. They have a heart attack. Well, look at it like this. I wear 2 trackers that track everything from my steps to my heart rate to my sleep patterns, everything, right? I can look back at, say, 2 in the morning, my heart rate spiked up to 230 or 130 beats. What in the heck was going on at 2:30 in the morning for my heart to go up to 130 beats while I'm sleeping? Well, I look at my sleep chart and I see I was having REM. REM sleep is when we're dreaming. Now, the body itself freezes, when you're dreaming, most of the time. Some of us walk in our sleep, but most of the time your body freezes so that you don't get up and harm yourself and act out what you're doing in your dreams. Because in your dreams, if you're being chased by a monster, your heart's going to react that way. Your heart rate is going to go up to whatever is happening in your dream. So if you're sitting around all day, you don't exercise, your heart is deconditioned, right? And you don't get up to 130 beats a minute anytime during the day, period, or ever normally. But at night, for some reason, you're having some wild, crazy dream about being chased by a monster. Well, guess what? You are at great risk of having a heart attack. If you're overweight, obese, sedentary, think about it. Your heart isn't conditioned. Your heart isn't used to running up to 130 plus beats a minute. So if you're being chased by a monster in your dream, that could literally cause you to have a heart attack. So remember, 90,000 people pass away every night in their sleep. Many of them from heart attacks. Many of them because they have coronary artery disease, coronary arterial disease. They have plaque buildup in their artery walls that cuts off the circulation and eventually leads to a heart attack, or clogs up the arteries in the brain and leads to a stroke. So it all comes down to balance. Physically balanced, you got to be at weight. Your BMI's got to be where it needs to be. All of your physical numbers from your doctor got to be in order. I work with physicians as well as the clients, especially ones who get hit with type 2 diabetes. Like me, they panic. They don't know what to do. And when you first get hit with that, it's like, holy moly. It's just out of the blue. So I work with the physicians as well as the clients. Being an ACE certified personal trainer, ACE certified health coach, we are the only body that's regulated under HIPAA as well. So all of my clients understand everything that goes on between us stays between us. Anything that goes on between me and their physician, once they have put me in touch with their physician, stays between me and their physician. So I work, I get in a trifecta manner quite often with their doctor, because I also want to know if they have any limitations, if there's anything that I need to be careful of as I'm putting together an exercise program or what I call a healthy living plan. For me, I don't want you to go on a diet. I don't want you to diet at all. I don't want you just to think about, oh my God, I have to exercise. No, what I want you to think about is I've got to become more balanced. I have to get my weight in balance. I have to get my physical activity in balance. I have to get my general health in balance. That's what you got to do. Forget going on diet plans. That's a short-term fix. The short-term fix is not going to get the situation corrected. Why do fish prefer salt water? Oh, Paul, that's a good one. Because pepper water makes them sneeze. Thank you, Paul. Even cute input is fun. Laughter is one of the keys to keeping a proper mental balance, as far as I'm concerned. I put a chapter in my book that laughter really is the best medicine. And just like being optimistic, every day you have the opportunity when you wake up, no matter what your issues are, I don't care if you wake up like me with back pain or whatever. Every single day when you wake up, you have the choice. Am I going to have a good day or am I going to have a bad day? And is the glass half full or is the glass half empty? You get to make that choice on a daily basis. So in the morning, one, be happy that you woke up. 90,000 people don't every single morning. Yeah, I know that's a scary number, huh? Yeah, you can quote me in your book on that joke if you want. Well, Paul, the new book is on dogs, not fish. But if I ever do write a fish book, I'll consider it. Thanks. Anyhow, you guys, if you haven't fanned me yet, I'd appreciate it. That way you'll know when I'm back on here tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to do dogs again. I go online so you guys can watch me walking the dogs, because my other passion, besides helping people, is helping dogs, especially animals, but mostly dogs. I'm a dog person, and I am writing a dog book right now. And before I go today, quick question, see if any of you guys can guess this one. It became a man. Oh, thanks, Paul. Appreciate that. Once they drop, we all get there. Ha ha ha. Anyhow, fan me up if you haven't fanned me yet. And remember, every day is the opportunity to make things better. I don't care how old you are, 20, 40, 60, 80, 60 can be the new 40, 50 can be the new 30. Conversely, 30 can be the new 50 if you don't take care of yourself. For the second year in a row, lifespans have shortened, you guys. Yeah, let me say it again. The second year in a row, lifespans have shortened. They have decreased. Not acceptable. Absolutely not acceptable. So get off your butts. Get moving. If you need help from me, especially quitting smoking, remember, that's free. If you want help getting rid of the cigarettes, I'm helping people do that for free right now. Email me at pushingdoublenickels@yahoo.com. That's pushingdoublenickels, as opposed to dimes or quarters, nickels, pushingdoublenickels@yahoo.com, or go to my website and just send me a note. That's personaltrainingwithbrad.com, personaltrainingwithbrad.com. Send me a little message. If you're a fan on YouNow, and I will look, if you're a fan on YouNow, you get an hour for free. Anything that you want to talk about. I don't care if it's losing weight, diabetes, pain management, literally anything you want to talk about for free. We'll Skype. So in the meantime, every opportunity that you have to get up and move, do so. This is about the longest I'm going to sit in one position today. I'm a constant mover now. Then again, as a personal trainer and health coach, if I don't walk the walk, I certainly am not going to get you to do it. If I can't prove to you that I am able to do what it is I'm telling you you can do, then you certainly aren't going to freaking believe me. If I wasn't able to walk off 110 pounds and quit a 31-year cigarette habit and get my diabetes under control and live with chronic pain on a daily basis, then how the heck could I expect you to do it? And who the freak is going to hire me as a personal trainer if I still look like that, right? So my first and most important client is me. I have to make sure that I'm able to show you, yes, you can get better at any age. I'm going to be 59 here in a few months, and physically, despite all of my injuries, I'm physically in the best shape I've been since I got out of Marine Corps boot camp. And that was a long, long time ago, you guys. So anyhow, I appreciate you taking the time to watch. Hopefully I've been able to help a little bit, be a little bit of a positive influence on your day. If you guys have any questions before I get rolling, hit me up now. If you haven't fanned me yet, I would appreciate it. And I am going to be back on here as much as I possibly can. For me, I like the ability to help live interactive. If I had the ability to pull you all into a chair sitting in the room here in front of me, I like that even better. Public speaking is something that I've been doing forever. In fact, I have a chapter in my book about public speaking. I love public speaking simply because an audience is something that I prefer to interact with. I don't want to just sit here and talk at you, although I can do it all day. You put me on my soapbox about becoming healthy or being happier or being optimistic, any of the things that are in my wheelhouse, I'll talk about them until the cows come home. But I would much prefer to have interaction with you guys to help support like the lady I helped with the anorexia issues the other day, the gentleman who wanted to talk about helping his dad quit smoking. A few different folks have actually asked me how they can put on weight besides the anorexic. We all have issues. To talk about them and to share my experiences, the positive experiences that I've had, for me is invaluable. So it's my give back this year, and I appreciate you taking the time to sit there and listen to me yammer at you about trying to be healthier. Anyhow, if you haven't fanned me yet, I'd appreciate it. I have got to finish my day and get rolling. I've been yammering at you here for a couple hours. I do appreciate everybody watching. I hope every one of you have a really heck of a good day. If you sit for a living, get up every 30 minutes and stretch. Your lower back is going to appreciate it. If any of you have a chance, go ahead and capture a moment and share it with some of your friends. Remember, I don't care how old you are. You can get better. You can make things better. You have the opportunity every morning when you wake up. The glass is either half full or half empty. If it's half full, let's stick with that and see what we can do to make things better. If not for yourself immediately, friends, family, your community. Try and do something positive in your life. In the long run, when you look in the mirror every day, you're going to like who you see. And the more that continues, the more you're going to do it. So pay it forward, be nice to everybody. There's absolutely no good excuse for bad behavior. Open the door, please, thank you. All the days of the yesers and the nosers and the pleases and the thank yous, they're not gone. So common courtesy, I think, has got to make a comeback. Anyhow, appreciate again you guys listening. If you haven't fanned me, go ahead and do so. That way when I'm back on, you'll know it. You can join me. If you can think of any questions, please go look at Pushing Double Nickels, my book on Amazon. I have 80 chapters in that book, so I cover a lot of different topics. So besides being a certified personal trainer and certified health coach, I've worn a lot of hats in my life. So I've got a lot of information on a lot of topics, let's put it that way. In the meantime, I appreciate everybody watching. If you have the opportunity, make some positive changes. If you need help from me, reach out. It's what I'm here for. I'll look forward to talking to you guys again tomorrow. In the meantime, have yourself an awesome day. Thanks.